Hey everyone, Ivy Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir, Silent Gods. For today's video, I'm going to go over 5 dynamic duos. Let's talk about some rares and epics that just synergize really well together. So in many of these games, any of these type of gachas, 90% of the time, it's not about one hero dominating. It's about a whole team synergy. Sometimes you might be enabling one hero to dominate, and it's the support of others that do that. But at the end of the day, it takes more than one to complete these battles. So I wanted to go through and do a little bit of a dynamic duo list. I thought this would be fun. And yeah, it's a really great idea. And I actually talked to my Starlight Challenge participants. I think we had Karens and Nohama, Daniel kind of give some input on this list. I was like, all right, guys, what do you think? Who else do you think? But yeah, they kind of mentioned some that I thought of and a couple I didn't think of. So I actually wanted to start with this list. I think it's a really fun idea because you might not even think of it at first, but maybe just realizing the bond between some of these people and the way they can play off each other can dramatically change some of your runs. So I hope you guys find this helpful. So first off, I'm going to start with probably the most popular option that I'm going to say. And let's just start with our most popular epic, I would say, Varus. So Varus is just a monster and with anybody. It don't matter who he's with. He's just great. Synergy or no synergy, for the sake of the bond, it don't matter. He can be in almost any team, and he is going to be wonderful. But there's a special person that he really helps enable, and that's because of his ultimate. So his ultimate is a full board buff prohibition debuff, right? Red is a debuff, needs accuracy to land. So Varus goes with his ultimate. He puts a debuff on everybody. And then our favorite new, where the hell is she? Rare, Sigd, can do her thing. So Varus and Sigd are the first dynamic duo I want to talk about. Varus does his thing. You make him go first with that ultimate. And if you have to delay because of skill haste or whatever, you have her go second with your timings, or you just delay it while you're doing your manual run, like to start off the battle to kick it off right. And she goes with her ultimate. So, of course, we all love Sigd. She's a monster, end game content viable, top tier damage. She's just bonkers because of this. So deals 820% poison damage to an enemy and all enemies inflicted with debuffs, with a 75% chance, 100% chance when booked, of inflicting healing prohibition and attack penalty 2 on them as well. So Varus goes with his ultimate. He puts buff prohibition on everybody. She puts healing prohibition and attack penalty and smacks everybody right after him. It's just a perfect pairing, even though the synergies don't line up. So last season, ice and poison were actually a synergy, which was insane and will be so busted when that comes back again. Could you imagine being able to take advantage of this 5 elemental affinity bonuses? When you have Sigd and Varus in the same team, that's gonna be nuts. Like, that is just a really wonderful duo, and I really love that this game allows rares and epics to shine just as well, if not better, than some legendary synergy. All right, and for our second dynamic duo, let's talk about another rare that dominates and does amazing damage, Usha. So Usha is a monster. She just hits hard. She has an incredible ultimate, and her ultimate slashes forcefully twice, each dealing 400% cold, or attack is cold, damage to enemies within range. So she's going to smash for 800% damage, with a 100% chance of inflicting frost. This skill deals double damage to enemies already inflicted with frost. Yes, that's right, 1600% attack damage total with her ultimate skill. That's busted. And that's what makes Usha so great for so many comps is, like, in Goblin, she could be the only melee damage dealer, the tank, and she could run in there, kind of help gather everything, and also put in some work. So for Usha's dynamic duo pairing, I'm going to head on up here to our epics to one I can't seem to pull on any of my accounts. Rava. People love Rava. Rava is also frost. So that's the thing. Usha and Rava are both frost synergy within the ice element. So Rava here is great. Summons a nexus that lasts for 10 seconds in a designated area, dealing attack damage, and every 1.5 seconds, and dealing 100% chance of dealing frost as well for 10 seconds. It's like she could just constantly... So Rava, she can just pump out tons of frost on all the enemies around with her ultimate. Plus, her battle skill applies frost as well. And then, yeah, she also can smack pretty hard and give crit damage to all allies with her aura. So this aura with an Usha built with crit to smack, yeah, it's a really good duo. So if you're going to put Usha and Rava in the same team, you're going to want to make sure Rava goes first for her ultimate to smash and put frost on everybody, which of course you do, again, need accuracy for. And then after that, Usha can go and attack all the enemies that have frost as well and do 1600% damage. So that is another great duo. Next up, we're going to talk about a couple epics now. This was a fun one that I never really noticed because I hadn't played with one of them very much yet. And I mean, I know their kit, but this was an interesting one. Let's talk about some passives. So we have Zarloth here. Zarloth is great, right? He brings a lot. He brings fear, he heals, he brings recharging speed penalty, double AoEs, so great for Goblin, but there's also this passive. Every 4th basic attack heals the ally with the lowest HP by 300% attack with a 100% chance of inflicting stun on the enemy for 5 seconds. So he's going to pump out a ton of silence, inflicting silence on the enemy for 5 seconds. So he's going to silence a lot, right? He's going to put this out quite a lot. And every 4th basic attack. So he's just going to start helping to put that on other people that it might not already be on, right? And then we have someone who really also shines when enemies are under silence. So we have Yola. Yola does place silence with her ultimate, but her passive, when attacking enemies under silence, there's a 40% chance of changing silence into stun. So if you have Zarloth in there just silencing enemies randomly, she can then change that silence into stun instead. So of course the difference here, stun prevents the target from launching basic attacks or casting skills. Silence cannot cast basic skills in ultimate. So it's like they can still use their battle skills in ultimate. They can still use their basic skill, but they cannot use their battle skill in their ultimate. But with stun, they can't use anything or do anything. So it's a better version. So if you have someone in the team like a Zarloth that also provides a silence, you can have Yola put out more stuns, which is a really great combo for something like Arena especially, or some of those hard wave clears, or maybe those rotation battles if you get stuck on those in the storyline. It's just a really, really great combo and a really nice shout out. All right, next up, we're going to talk about a couple other people that I don't have on my main account. I do have one of them on my Starlight account, but we're going to talk about Isolde and Adolphus. So, Isolde, great tank, more of a support, honestly, with how much she protects the team with shields. Well, let's get into it. So, shields granted by this hero reduce damage for reduces allies' damage taken by 15%. And then her, this is not really relevant for what we're talking about. And then here, her ultimate, inflicts attack penalty 2, 100% chance to land it with her ultimate, and then grants a shield to allies within range for 10 seconds. So that's pretty good. 10 seconds is a great time period for her ultimate to plop a shield down, right? And then we have our friend Adolphus, who, if the target already has a shield, when the hero grants them a shield, additionally heals them equal to 75% of the shield granted. So that's a really fun combo. It can really help you to get away with little or no other healers if you have a Solde and a Dolphus in your team. Now, he also puts up shields here with his ultimate too. So really, really cool. And he has this, and he grants an extra shield here with his battle skill. So he's going to help keep shields up with his ultimate and his battle skill. And then a Solde can as well. And he can convert them all to heals, adding extra heals, I should say, with his passive. Really, really fun synergy to look out for. And of course, they're both fire, so even better. They're actually part of the same element, not even just the synergy, but the element itself when you're trying to do a single element team later on, maybe. So that's a fun one. I really like that combo for sure. And they're people I was hoping to get for the sake of Vortex on my Starlight account. And for my duo number 5, I really want to bring up the most relatable duo. We can't not talk about Horus, who we get for free. Very strong HP in all battles aura. He's got this shield that makes him really hard to kill, that pops up a lot to protect him and make him super tanky for hard content like Vortex. He's the last one to die, not the first. Or Ancient Battlefield, where you really got to have a good tank, or Venom, where you really want to have a good tank. He's great. But yeah, he is just an overall solid tank. He doesn't bring a lot to the table for helping other allies, but he does bring attack penalty 2 on his battle skill, although unfortunately not 100% chance to land. So I would suggest you use the rare arrow artifact with him to increase that to a higher percentage chance to land, closer to 100% chance to land attack penalty with every battle skill hit. But yeah, he is just a great tank, right? And when it comes to starting out your account and having team synergy, you're really looking for your DPS to have the synergy at least, because it's going to be more about the damage in a lot of cases where you want the extra stats. So it kind of doesn't matter if your tank and your healer are the same element as the rest of your team, especially in the beginning when you're just looking for 3 synergy. So for our duo, I'm going to have Horus, and you guys probably can guess it, right? Oops, that is not what I meant to click. Horus and Hexandra. They're the 2 free heroes we get in the beginning. They are both of the same element. You pair your Fire Traveler, Adventurer, with them, and boom, you got the 3 synergy right off the bat for the second day of gameplay, and that's a great core to start with. And then you can work on other teams instead, like an Ice or Lightning or whatever team, to be able to farm the Flame Domain easier. I highly suggest not starting with Fire or Poison at the beginning of an account for this current season, because anything with Flame is a lot harder to farm. But yeah, having those 2 to start off with is just great. They could pair with anything. Don't matter what your DPS is, you just need a healer and you need a tank. And that just makes for a really, really good start. And both of them bring auras, so you can kind of take advantage of that. She heals based on your target's HP, so that's great as well. And yeah, she can dispel a debuff from them. So in something like Grave of Venom, if she's the healer, she can randomly dispel that extra defense penalty one that goes on your tank, Horus. She can also heal pretty well, so especially if you have decent HP on the Horus besides defense as well. Yeah, and overall, she's just a solid healer that can be used in the endgame because she also doesn't bring any buffs. And because she brings no buffs and she heals, it makes her a great healer for Ancient Battlefield. So Horus and Hexandra are the ultimate free-to-play duo, but I love the combos. Let me know in the comments below, guys, who are your favorite dynamic duos? What are your favorite pairings or trios or whoever? There's so many more we could talk about. We could get into the best rally, the best dauntless, the best wild. You know, we could kind of go that route. There's so many more. I know people are really loving Adri in a lot of comms, or what's her name, Thea being used. There's so many people, but I think that's a good place to start. I hope those gave you guys some ideas. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.